Noon. Good afternoon. Why am I not hearing? Okay, it helps if you. Oh, it is on. All right. I should have checked this before I started the broadcast, but that's all right. We can work around it. Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until around 2:30. I'm with you till around 2:30. Come on in, say hello to me. I'm still needy. Nothing has changed. Say hello. I want to know where you're from. So I want to know where you're kind of checking in from. Got Robert Willis, Butler Brown, Olympia Daskin. Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. Let's see. I want to put the names up. Butler. Got Olympia. I hit the wrong one. Sorry. They're just moving so fast. Olympia. Erica. Erica, good afternoon. Quintano, good afternoon. Robert says Anderson Township. All right. Got Keisha over there in Evanston. All right. See, we got Anthony up in Clifton. All right. Anthony. Hold on a second. Let me do something here. Oh, go here. Yeah, I don't need to hear that. And then we go here. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Got Jason. Jason, good afternoon. Brenda, working from home in Fairfield. All right, that's a good gig. Good afternoon. Emanuel Livingston in the afternoon. Experimentalists. Okay. Checking in from Dallas. TC says, hey. Where you hey-heying from, TC? Andrea. Good afternoon, Andrea. And yes, it is Friday. Got Butler says he's in Cartersville, Georgia. All right, Georgia checking in. uh Pros. Pro Se, I'm sorry. Pro Se from Pennsylvania. All right, got Pennsylvania, Texas, Georgia. Marquita says good afternoon. Where you from, Marquita? Crystal, hello, checking in from Forest Park. All right, Forest Park. Dwayne, Mount Airy. All right, TC, Kentucky. So we got a number of states checking in, y'all. That's exciting. Brandy, greetings. Andrew says she's checking in from the home office in Gulf Manor. All right. Pro Se. Let's with the thumbs up. Can't beat that. All right. Diane says, hello there. All right. Lewis says, make sure you watch that new Mike Tyson show on Hulu. Mike Tyson said, don't watch that. Mike Tyson said, don't watch that show on Hulu. He said they didn't pay him. And it's not his thing. They trying to steal his story. I respect people when they say that. I respect people. Like when Anita Baker said, don't listen to my music, I stopped listening to her music. And then, later on, she said, all right, it's all good. You can listen to my music now. When Dave Chappelle, or didn't she? I think she came out and said, Dave Chappelle. I think I'm thinking about Dave Chappelle. When Dave Chappelle said, hey, don't watch that Chappelle show, I stopped. I stopped watching Chappelle's show. So Mike Tyson say don't watch it. I'm not watching it. I respect those people. Marquita says she's checking in from Finneytown. Fame says, hey, let's make this money with the NFL this weekend. I'm not messing with no NFL. You know where I stand on that. Fame, you know where I stand on that. But you can, if you can make some money off of it, I say go for it. Somebody said your boy Wyatt was on one yesterday. Uh oh, see, I don't like that, Daryl. I don't like that. You can just disagree with the brother's positions without him, being a name and all that kind of stuff. You can disagree with his positions. I disagree with some of his positions, but that don't mean, he all that. Come on. Come on. I didn't get a chance to check it out yesterday. I was busy. Daryl said, yeah, don't watch that stuff on Hulu. Miss Lucky Charm, good afternoon. Uh Lewis says he is telling the truth, but never forget he endorsed Donald Trump. I don't like that, but he's got a right to, I guess, endorse whoever he wants to endorse. Um, but nah, still, I'm not gonna watch it because he said he didn't get no money from it. So, Quintano riding in from Madeira. All right. Brian Taylor, say what up? Doing a show this weekend at Vinaclet Winery. I'm sure I butchered that with his jewelry and watching me on the way over. All right, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. All right, now what are we going to talk about today? Well, y'all know I finally got a chance to see the video of the young lady running the dude over with her vehicle with the van. I guess his van. The whole story is a little convoluted to me. I read it and I listened to it a few times, and my understanding, which may be incorrect, remember I did have a coronavirus, so some stuff still be jumbled up in there. But they were together. They were a couple. I had her name and his name and all that kind of stuff, but it's not all that important. They were together. He was in the store. Apparently, she was in the store arguing with him at some point, according to a witness. She was in the store. They were arguing. So maybe they were arguing because while he was in the store, she went through his phone and found out, or what she believes, that he was having what's described as an inappropriate relationship with her sister. So he comes out the store and she mows him down. In the process, she mows another dude down, and then she goes over and she beats him up. Now she's charged with murder, attempted murder, felonious assault for all of 1 minute, for almost literally 1 minute of her life. She made a horrible decision and acted on that horrible decision. And it took what amounted to almost 1 minute of her life. And she is gonna suffer horribly for that decision. Now, kind of earlier on, it came out that she had some other issues where I guess she got arrested not too long ago for trying to beat somebody windshield in with a hammer. She got arrested for whooping her 7-year-old with a belt and punching her in the eye. And apparently there was a issue where she didn't want to give, like, there's a custody issue, and she excuse me, and she didn't want to return custody, or she didn't get a child to the father. All right, hold on a second. Got a call coming in here. Hold on just a second, caller. Hold on. Let me finish doing this if I can clear my throat right. Thank you. And so apparently she's had some issues. But none like this. And I have the video. I'm going to play the video for you momentarily. I'm going to play the video for you, but just keep in mind, I'm not saying she was an angel, because, clearly she had, maybe some anger management issues. So I'm not going to say she was an angel. I'm also not going to say she had a mental problem either. She had some anger management issues, apparently. But some of this stuff, the way our society looks at it, or the way some people in certain parts of our culture look at it, it's fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And so I want to talk about that in just a moment. In just a moment. But before I do that, let me go to the phone. When you call in, I don't want you holding on forever. Plus, I only got one line. Caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Livingston.
Good afternoon, caller.
Thank you. And I'm not purple pro se. I'm pro se. And the way you pronounced my name was correct the last time you pronounced it. Pro se.
All right.
From Pennsylvania. I have an issue, and I'm hoping that you'll allow me the platform to share it regarding the rental payments that's coming from the government to the landlords. One of the key things, if you were a landlord, and if you're a tenant or you apply for rental assistance and you accept it, if you accept that payment, you cannot evict that tenant from that property for no reason whatsoever 90 days after. Now, my question to the housing authority in Chester County, Pennsylvania, Chester County was, wait a minute, you paid her all up to date or paid this tenant up to date. For example, from all the way up to the end of August. So if she misses September, October, November, I can't ask for my payments for those months. These are new months that are past due. And they're saying no. So I'm saying that I have to wait 90 days to fall 3 more payments behind before I can take any action. And have you heard anything like that? Or can you give me some clarification? Because this is what I'm being told. And this is not fair. Just think about it. They're bringing you up to date on the money that they owe you.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying, now they don't have to pay you again for 90 days and you don't get anything. And I'm kind of lost. And I know we have a lot of smart people in our family here. And I would like to get some clarification on it. I know this is Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a very, very racist state. Me being a man of color, I have no chance. So I'm looking for some support or some information so I can have to work with. I'm pro se, so I'm going to handle this case on my own. And if I have to go to court or whatever, because attorneys want like $300 or $400 an hour. Your suggestions, please.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions real quick. So you had tenants that were behind, and they did the whole thing with the government paying off everything. And one of the catches, if you want to call it, I can't think of the words that I'm trying to think of.
Contingency.
That in order, if you take this money, you can't evict them for 90 days. So that's where you are. Do you have a reason now to evict them? Like you want to evict them?
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do. They have animals in the house that shouldn't have animals in the house. And also, they haven't paid September. So I understand, and I don't agree with, but I understand that I can't ask for my September payment until October, November.
Well, hold on. Let me ask. Now, is it you can't start the eviction process for 90 days, or they can't actually be put out for 90 days?
My understanding, I can't take any action until 90 days. And what I want to do, what I'm going to do, because an attorney, they're going to want someone. I'm going to fight this myself, and I'm going to attempt to take the action just on having animals in my home that shouldn't be there. It's in the lease. You shouldn't have any animals in the house. So I'm not asking for the payment in this action. I want to go against. I want them to be removed because they got dogs in the house that shouldn't be in. And I'm a dog guy, but this person shouldn't have a dog.
Well, let me ask, have you Have you considered have you tried to evict them and some government agency said to you, "Whoa, you can't do this because you took that money"?
It's on the paperwork that you receive that if you receive these funds, you cannot evict them for 90 days.
What's the exact wording? That matters. It's legal. So that matters. The exact wording. See, this is when people be like, "Oh, you be too much about the specifics." In the law, the exact wording matters. Because if it says you can't evict them for 90 days, I'm thinking, and I'm not a lawyer clearly, that might mean they can't be put out, but you could start the eviction process and then maybe they have that cushion so you know you're going to lose that 90 days, but at least at 90 days, boom, they out of there. So you want to look at what is the exact wording and then move for if it were me, I would move forward and I would start the eviction process. And if you start the eviction process and somehow you find out that you can't, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm thinking worst case scenario, they just throw your stuff out and then you got to start over in 90 days. But I would try to start the eviction process depending on the exact wording of that was on the paper when you took that money.
Well, grandfather, I can say one thing that I have battled against many attorneys here in Pennsylvania and been very successful. And you are brighter than most of them that I went up against. So I don't take anything from yourself by saying you're not an attorney because you just got to think. And a lot of them don't do that. But again, I'm not taking shots because I have a lot of attorneys that are friends of mine as well. But you're absolutely correct. I am going to look at this paperwork once again. And either way, I'm pro se. I'm just going to do it and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I didn't know." But I wish someone else who went through this process, maybe they know more firsthand information that they can share with us. And again, I just want to put Coatesville, Pennsylvania on the map. That place needs help. I have several rental properties there, and I will be calling and talking to you about my area as well. I'm interested in your area as well. So if you don't mind, I appreciate the platform.
Hey, no problem. Quick question. One more quick question. Is the dogs, is that the only issue that you're having? Well, I guess the dogs and non-payment of rent.
Yeah, and threatening my neighbors, and my neighbors are calling me saying the dogs are outside.
Oh.
Now they're not on the leash, and now I don't have them on my insurance. So if something happens, they can come back on me.
Yeah.
Because the dog is in my house, even though I'm saying they're not supposed to have them there. I have to go to court and prove to them that that dog was there without my knowledge. And since it is there because of my knowledge, if I don't put them on my insurance, then if that dog bites somebody, they're not going to go after the tenant because the tenant most likely doesn't have enough to pay whatever the medical bills are going to be. They're going to go after the landlord. And I think that's awful. And for the housing authority to put tenants like that in jeopardy.
Okay. All right. Hey, good luck. Hopefully everything work out for you.
Thank you, sir. And I listen to you constantly. I love your show and keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Bye now.
All right. That's pro se. Look, I'm gonna tell you, I feel for people who rent properties. Cause you never know. You try to screen the best you can. You put together a contract and all of that kind of stuff. You do what you can, but there are people who, I'm not gonna say they're bad people. They're people who don't operate in good faith. And then it's a hassle basically trying to reclaim your property because there are laws in place. And thank goodness there are laws in place to protect renters. But if you have a bad situation, I could imagine for someone, a landlord, it could be challenging. It could be challenging. As for me, I want to say, get out. No, get out now. pack yo and get out. But you can't do that. There's a legal process. So hopefully everything ends up going well, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully he'll give us an update or keep us updated as things go. Somebody said put the renters and the dog on the insurance and charge the renters more. Well, I won't really help him if they not paying the rent as it is. If they not paying the rent as it is, I don't know that that'll help him. But like I told him, I would just start the process. Start the process. Or I might have looked at that paperwork and said, hold on. I want this money for this back rent, but they got them dogs. And you kind of got to weigh it. Like, do I want to deal with this back rent? Just eat this loss? Or do I want this money and have to deal with these people for another 90 days? So, it's just one of them things that you got to deal with. Somebody say you shouldn't have took the money and just evicted them. And that's easy to say. But if y'all remember, and I didn't ask him how much back rent did he get in pro se, if you want to let us, not in terms of money, but months wise, because remember when the pandemic hit, all of those renters, they weren't allowed to evict people. They put a moratorium on evictions. And y'all know people, not everybody, but a lot of people just said, what, they can't evict me? I ain't paying no rent. What he gonna do? What he gonna do? He can't evict me. And so a lot of people went for a long time without paying no rent. And then, they get that rental assistance, and depending on what it is, I don't know how much they was giving out. Because, to be completely honest, I wasn't a renter. I wasn't a landlord. So I wasn't focusing on that. But if you got a year or so worth of back rent, say you got, I don't know, you got 18 months of back rent. I would trade the 18 months of back rent for the 90 days of no rent. So somebody, nobody forced him to take that check. I don't know, where is it? Nobody forced him to accept that check. Yeah, but all depending on what the check was. And all right, I can't evict him for 90 days, but like I said, depending on the word, I can start that eviction process now. So come day number 90, get yoked and get out. So I don't know. I hope it all works out good for him. I hope it all works out very well for him. 513-717-KING. 513-717-KING. That's the number to get on board if you'd like to have a discussion about anything. It's the week in review, so I kind of do a week in review. But before I do that, I have this video. I want to show you. And remember, this young lady is 24 years old. The story is, it's being reported. Again, I'm not there, so I'm not going to say this is the definitive truth. Somebody remind me. I have to teach people how to watch the news. There are people who do not know how to watch the news. And so they see and hear things and they don't know how to take it. So I'm going to give a quick lesson on how to watch the news because it can be confusing. All right. So somebody remind me before I go. If I ain't did it by 2:00, at 2:00, somebody don't forget to teach people how to watch the news. It's important. But remember, this young lady, it is reportedly she was in a relationship with this guy. He was in the store. She went through his phone. She found out through going through his phone that he was having an inappropriate relationship with her sister. She made the decision, which was a horrible decision. I'm going to run him over. He comes out of Kroger, and this happens. She gets out and runs over, and she's pummeling him. She pummeling him. Now his leg is broke. In a minute, watch, she gonna turn around and start beating the leg. See, she beating a broken leg now. And then she turned around and hit him again. Now the security is standing there. People are running to help the guy where it's blurred over there. I think she, at about this point, she realizes, oh shit. She runs back to the car. The car is disabled. I'm gonna play it again. The car is disabled. So she's trying to leave in the car, but she can't because the car ain't working. People standing around. Some people are tending to the guy where the blur is because he's the guy who passed away. Her boyfriend is over there holding his leg. His leg broke. Now she get out the car and she tries to leave. That's the whole video. That's the whole video. I'm gonna play it again, but when it starts, he walks out and she plows into him. The video pauses quickly because they didn't want to show her actually running over and killing the guy who ended up dying. They didn't actually want to show that. So they paused it right before she hit him and then picked it back up. And then she gets out, she runs over, she beats the dude. He's got a broken leg. She turns around and punches his leg a couple times, and then reaches back and punches him. And then, as security walks over there slowly, I think that's when she realized, oh shit, I done effed up. And it came to her that quick, and then she jumps in the car. And you can look at it. I'm about to play it again. This was the Kroger on Kennard. When you look at it, when she runs him over, that car almost tip over with the baby in the car. She runs into dude head on. He didn't stand a chance. So when we imagine this, you imagine it differently. You imagine it differently. But then when you see it in full speed, all of this stuff happened. This video, from beginning to end, is 1 minute, I believe, and 6 seconds long. Maybe 1 minute and 9 seconds long. There's a whole lot of nothing happening afterwards when she leaves and get in the car. So this incident where she ran over somebody, beat them, and killed another person, that was probably all of 35, 40 seconds. 35 or 40 seconds out of your life has now potentially ruined your entire life. And it don't make that song, I'll bust the windows out your car. I know it didn't mend my broken heart. It gives a different, I don't know, why didn't you think before you bust the windows out the car? Like, that type of stuff is not cute. That type of stuff is not sexy. That type of stuff is not acceptable. Think before you do these things, because you can be making some life-altering decisions. I'll play it again. He's walking out, standing by the stop sign. She's coming. Bam, she hits him. They pause it. Now he's on the ground over there by the entrance. She gets out and runs over to him. And she starts pummeling him. Now people are running to help the guy who's on the ground dying. She's pummeling. Now she gonna notice his leg is broke. And then she start punching the leg. She punched the broken leg a couple times. And then she reaches back and punches him. Security standing there. Now she get up. Right now, at this point, she realized she fucked up. She get in the car, the van. She trying to start it, trying to get it going. Nothing that she can do. And I mean, she just stuck at this point. There is nothing that she can do. So she'll get out on the passenger side, holding the baby, and try to walk away. Just a few seconds changes your entire life. Just a few seconds changes your entire life. Now, look, I don't know if dude was, doing whatever with the sister. If he was wrong. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. Yes, she is facing child endangerment charges, Lakeisha. She is facing child endangerment charges as well. So she's facing murder, attempted murder, felony assault, and child endangering. That's what she's facing for about 45 seconds of action. About 45 seconds of action. It was at the Kroger on Kennard and here in Cincinnati. And again, the story is she looked through his phone, which I know this is such a minor point. Stop looking through people's phones. If you gotta look through somebody's phone, you already know what you're looking for. Even if it ain't real, maybe you're in a position where you feel that. And if you feel that way about it, you probably ain't got no business being with them. If you got me feeling like I gotta go through your phone, you stressing me out. Life is too short to be stressed out. Stop going through people's phones. Either you trust me or you don't. If you do, stay here. If you don't, leave. Not leave like you're horrible or you're wrong, but leave like you don't deserve that stress. But apparently she went through his phone, found out that, maybe he was having an inappropriate relationship with the sister, and that was the way she handled it. And we act like some of this stuff is okay, but it's not. It's not. Criminal charges are real. They will charge you. And y'all know, I've had conversations with people about reacting. And I understand. I know that sounds crazy with everything else I've said, but I understand that if you find out somebody had sex with your boyfriend, father of your child had sex with your sister, which again, I don't know if that's true or not. But if you find out the father of your child had sex with your sister, that might make you want to do something to him. Okay? So I'm not saying that she crazy. No, that'll make you want to do something to somebody. I understand. But you got to make better decisions. You got to make better decisions for you and for your children. For you and your children. Now you in jail. Your lawyer talking about, well, she didn't mean to kill the guy. That was not her intent. Her intent was not to kill an innocent. You shouldn't have to make that argument. You shouldn't have to make that argument. We people, not the black community, but we people have to start talking about, for real, anger management. Because there's a way to deal with this stuff. There's a way to deal with this stuff. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. People make their biggest mistake when they act on their emotions. She didn't give a S about anyone's life. Sound like you making excuses. Sometimes you just let people say nonsense because they want to say nonsense. No reasonable person. This is one of the ways you can tell if you're reasonable. No reasonable person has heard anything I said and said, why is he making excuses for her bad behavior? No reasonable person heard that. So don't even worry about that. Ain't no D worth that. I mean, I've had some good D, but nah. I, again, look, that's easy to say. And yeah, it's easy for me to sit here and say make good decisions. I've told y'all about some of them. I've been in situations where I made bad decisions. I was angry or, hype or whatever. I've made bad decisions. Bad decisions that, if things went the wrong way, could have cost me. Thank goodness they didn't. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I always make the right decision. I don't. But we got to start talking about making better decisions. We got to start talking about it. Because it ain't even about whether or not the D was good. It's about betrayal, hurt. Remember I was talking about the other day about men and how men feel hurt too? But depending on what it is, men hold that hurt in and then they act out on it in other ways. This was kind of that same thing. She was hurt and she acted out. She acted out of her. She not because I've seen a few comments here and I heard earlier today. Well, she gotta have a mental condition. No, she don't. She just had to be mad enough to act irrationally. That's it. And maybe she doesn't make the best choices when she's angry. Again, she's been charged with smashing a window with a hammer. That's not what I'm saying? That's not a and I don't know for sure, but I've seen things like this and I've heard people defend that. Hey girl, shoot, you gotta do what you gotta do. He ain't got no reason to be cheating on you. And so, shoot, he love that car. And you bashed the windows out that car. He deserve it. No. If he did you wrong, he deserved for you to leave. That's what he deserved. Gotta make better decisions. Y'all, all of y'all who saying she went nuts for the D, again, I don't know if that's the case. Look, and I'm just trying to be honest about this. There's a difference between he cheated on me and he cheated on me with my sister. There is a difference. There's a difference. So it wasn't necessarily, the D's so good. It's this MF was effing my sister. The hurt, the disrespect from both sides, sister and boyfriend, and it's the father of my child, and, again, bad decision. But I don't know that it was just all about the D. I would imagine even if the D was terrible, 1 minute, then limp. You know what I'm saying? It was horrible D. He gave that 1 minute's worth of limp D to my sister? Oh, hell no. So that's not necessarily, it was so good. It's hurt. And learning how to deal with being hurt and angry and still be able to function rationally. When a person's just seeing red and just want to do something, the situation is going to end bad. Diane says, I've been angry and thought about doing some things, but didn't go through with it. Diane says she blacked out. I don't think she blacked out. Janice, I never believed in that kind of retaliation because the payback could be worse for me. Janice says she's a walk-awayer or a litigator. No physical contact or property damages for her. That's good. That's good. Let me see. Uh David says, I called 717 and Garrison picked up. Oh, yeah, betrayal by your sister. I imagine that hurts. I could not imagine the rage I would feel if, because some of y'all know Nate. If I found out Nate was hitting Mrs. Livingston behind my back, like what? What? Now, if I just found out Mrs. Livingston, somebody else was hitting Mrs. Livingston, I would be hurt. I would be mad. That would be it. But if I found out Nate was hitting Mrs. Livingston, oh, that changes everything. That changes everything. That amplifies everything like times 100. So again, I understand. I understand. But people gotta, people gotta think twice about their decisions. She in jail looking silly as hell right now. But I bet you, I would be willing to bet you, I can't prove this, but I would be willing to bet you like $10. $10. That's it. That's my max on this bet. That she is in jail. She feels bad. She feel bad because she didn't mean to kill that dude. But I bet them other chicks in jail is giving her mad props. Not for killing the dude, but for running over old boy. Girl, I'd have ran his ass over too. I bet you she's getting that kind of reassurance. As if what she did was okay. Because there's a good number of people in our society who believe that's okay. Whose A did you whoop? I didn't say I whooped nobody. I'm thankful I didn't whoop nobody. I chased the dude with a gun in the car and on the highway. Terribly irresponsible of me. Terribly irresponsible. Um, okay. You crazy as hell. WTF are you talking about? Shaking my head. You just made a freaking excuse. F her and her stupid relationship. I shop at that Kroger. Telling you the reason why it's been reported that she did it is not making an excuse. That's telling you the reason. That reminds me, I do have to teach you how to watch the news. Some of y'all need to be taught just how to think rationally. Some of y'all need to be taught how to think rationally. Not a lot of y'all, but some of y'all. Hold on. Tina says all men don't have good D. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I have no idea. I'll take your word for it. I will take your word for it. Lakeisha want to know what she do to the sister. Well, probably nothing, because I think she was arrested on the spot. When she got out that car and tried to walk away, the people standing around would not let her leave. So when law enforcement showed up, she got arrested. She been in jail ever since. So she didn't get a chance to do nothing to the sister. She didn't get a chance to. Hold on. I'm way behind on these comments. Some of y'all should call in. I don't have to threaten y'all like I'm leaking where. But some of y'all should call in. It's 513-717-5464. Man, you're crazy. It's all coming out. I told that story years ago. I told that story years ago. And that's why I'm not saying like, because we look at it, some of us look at it like, oh, she's this horrible person and this and this and that. But if you think back on your life, isn't it possible that you made some bad decisions back in the day that luckily didn't turn out as bad as they could have? Hers just turned out really, really bad. Really, really bad. And just imagine the conversation that people would be having if that innocent person wasn't there and didn't get killed. And so you got a young lady who found out that her boyfriend maybe had sex with her sister. She runs him over with the van, beats him up, punches the broken leg, and gets arrested. The conversation that people are having is all about whether or not that's the appropriate way to deal with it. A lot of stuff went bad for her. It went worse for the gentleman who ended up getting killed. And they say this guy which is the irony of things. This guy had been in a motorcycle accident, hit by a car apparently, had suffered some degree of paralysis. This is what's being reported. Had suffered some degree of paralysis, fought to be able to walk again, and he had to end up walking on a cane. Started a nonprofit to encourage drivers to be safe drivers. I forget, like Look Both Ways or something. I don't remember what the name of the nonprofit was, but it's a nonprofit about getting drivers to look both ways, be safe drivers. And he's killed by somebody driving a car, intentionally trying to run somebody down. Horrible. Horrible. Kristen says, I would still refuse to praise her on her decision, innocent death or not. That's you. But a whole lot of people, that song, y'all remember that song, I Bust the Windows Out Your Car, Jasmine Sullivan? Y'all remember that song? A whole lot of women were feeling that song like, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Well, clearly, as we see, it's not that far of a cry from I bust the windows out your car to I ran you down. Because she was at one step not too long ago, busting windows out of a car with a hammer, to I ran somebody over. A lot of people encourage that type of behavior. A lot of people do. What was the race of the woman that committed the homicide? She was a black woman. And she was cute. Not that that matters. But she was a cute girl. She was cute. Lakeisha say, yep, I love that song. A lot of people do. I'm not saying just because you like that song, you down with running somebody over. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that mentality of, if he do you wrong, get violent. Key his car. Now bust the windows out of it. Now run his ass down. I bust your windows out your car. Not I bust your leg up with my car. It's not that much of a difference. They're violent acts. It's not that much of a jump from one violent act to the next. I know somebody like it's very different. One is an object, and one is a person. So it's a far cry from somebody who would take a hammer and bust the windows out your car to somebody who will, punch a guy in the face if he at the car. We agree it's not that much of a difference. If you busting the windows out the car and he right there, you might hit him, right? Well, it's not that far of a cry if you might hit him with your hand and you happen to be driving the car, you might tap him with the car, right? I've seen chicks, I tell you, I watch a lot of videos. I've seen chicks hit dudes with the car, run over his foot. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that stuff. And it's not that far of a cry that I might speed up a little bit and plow into you. And yeah, break your leg if that happened to happen and punch you in the face. I'm just being honest, y'all. It was a bad decision. I feel bad. I feel bad for everybody involved almost. I definitely feel bad for the innocent man who ended up being dead. He just going to Kroger. You know what I'm saying? You just going to Kroger. He walking in the store. He don't even make it in Kroger. He's dead. Now his family and friends got to process all of that for nothing. Nothing with regard to him. For them, he dead for nothing. Her life is ruined. Her life is over. They got you on video. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, that wasn't me. They got you on video, baby. That was you. And the whole, well, I didn't mean to kill him. That means nothing. That means nothing. I mean, that's, okay, that's not premeditated homicide. But Lakeisha, what's that? Well, you're not in Ohio, so you don't necessarily know all of the rules here in Ohio and everything, but that is what involuntary homicide. Involuntary. And attempted on the boyfriend. Her life is over. As she knew it. Her children now, they don't have to deal with their mama. Some of y'all might be saying, well, it's good that they ain't got to deal with their mama because look at who she is and what she did. I don't think that you are necessarily defined by 40 bad choice that you made, an action that took 45 seconds. She will be. She'll be defined by that for some people. But I don't necessarily know if that means she was the worst mother, even though she was arrested for whooping a kid with a belt and punching him in the eye at 7. That's not a good thing. But still, them kids won't be with their mama. And they'll have to live with the fallout of this. I feel bad. I feel bad about the whole situation. Why does it matter if she was cute? I said it don't really matter. It was just an observation. It would be just like me saying she was in a minivan. Well, what difference do it make if it was a minivan or a sedan? It was just an observation. It's just an observation. The vehicle looked black. Well, what difference do it matter if the vehicle was black or if the vehicle was blue? Don't matter. It's just an observation. Don't read too much into it. Let me see. I got a call coming in. Caller.
Hi, Emanuel. How are you?
I'm fantastic. What's your name?
My name's Fame.
Oh,
People
what's
call
up?
me Hurricane, but you could call me Slurrifane. Some people call me Famelo Ball. Some people call me Trill Belichick.
How about we just call you Fame? And what's on your mind?
A little bit of everything. First, I watched that Mike on Hulu joint.
Uh-huh.
I don't care that he's talking about because he ain't getting paid for it. Don't watch it. I mean, I don't care. Your life's entertaining. You should have made a better contract. That's your problem. You blew $300 million, not me.
Yeah, but still, if somebody make a show about my life, especially, based on some books or something that I've written. The way it works, in order to do that, you got to pay me to use that content. So,
Hey,
and if they didn't
it's no
pay,
different. It's no different than Shorty at Kroger. You made bad decisions that cost you. Mike Tyson, you made bad decisions that cost you, and one of them was a bad contract of your likeness that people can get paid on it. That's your problem, not mine. But that's neither here nor there. What I called about it, the show was, like I said, I watched it. The reason I think he doesn't, well, it is actually part of the reason. I think the reason he doesn't want people watching that is because this is the first time that the public will pay attention to the graphic, sordid details of the Desiree Washington rape, because there's a whole episode about that.
okay.
And yeah, he's a nasty Negro. He's sick, and I really, 1992. What was I, 16 years old? Yeah,
Now,
I was,
hold on, fame. But just for
yeah,
the record, you're not watching a documentary. You're watching a
a TV
movie, a
series. Yes, I
drama.
know.
So everything you see in there is not necessary. And I haven't seen it at all, so I have no idea how it's depicted. But just because it's in the movie doesn't mean that it's the way that things actually happen. Because I felt like what you
Typically,
were saying.
in shows like this, when they use real names and use actual court transcripts as a part of the script, it's like if it ain't 100%, it's right there just to fit the time slot.
Well, that's you. I don't know that they did that. That's what I'm telling you. Just because they put it in the movie doesn't mean that they were using actual court transcripts or actual dialogue of the people, or it's dramatized. So all
Okay.
I'm saying, you can still have your opinion. All I'm saying is, just because you see it in that movie doesn't make it 100% factual. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay, that's fact. But like I said, this is at 16 years old in 1992. I'm like, yeah, what's he doing? With a dude like that. But as an adult with young daughters, is like, wait a minute, that girl might have been that naive to kick it with him like that. And he, the way they put it together, it seems like he possibly did do this. Just by, I mean, not necessarily forced, just by, didn't necessarily, take it from her, but kind of just being just too much. You know what I'm saying? Not nothing, physically violent. But they did have her go to the doctor. They did have it, some of that where she went to the doctor, did the rape kit and everything. So, I just,
I'm
I
being
heard y'all
honest.
talking about that.
I'm not.
Like, I watched it.
Hold on, but I'm not understanding exactly what it is that you're saying. If you're saying he didn't,
I'm just saying
he didn't
the
take
reason
it. He wasn't violent.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
If you're saying he didn't take it and he wasn't violent, then
it's kind of hard to explain. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Okay.
And I apologize if anybody was offended. But you just kind of got to watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about. It wasn't like, come here, give it to me. It wasn't one of those type of things. So yeah, but now it's funny because I'm walking into a Kroger. I got to be honest. That Kroger story's got quite a few Henry twists in it. Just knowing that, because I kind of had a sliver of empathy for the girl until I heard how that guy, what that guy was into when he died. Starting that nonprofit and whatnot. It's like, damn, because something tells me that Joe Dieter spent probably not a lot of time, but probably spent like 2 minutes thinking, how could he jam that guy up for dirty macking, that blatant dirty macking like that? Because that's what caused this. Why would you dirty mac like that with a girl with her history?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I doubt it. I'm not gonna say I doubt he knew her history, but he may not have known. He may not have known her history. People don't.
He knew that girl wasn't wrapped too tight.
Come on, people don't. You don't meet a girl and she be like, And you'd be like, damn, girl, you fine. And she'd be like, well, just so you know, I was arrested 3 years ago for bashing in somebody's car. And then I got arrested a year and a half ago for punching my daughter in the eye and whooping her. And I got arrested because I wouldn't. But people don't readily give that information.
They don't readily give that information, but somebody who's known for being in that, everybody, it's going to be quickly found out. Is that their child that they have together?
My understanding, and again, is that child that was in the vehicle, not the 7-year-old, but the child that was in the vehicle is his and her child together. That's my understanding, even though I can't say
so
that.
I don't know how
100%
many months
certainty.
old the baby was, but it's at least 9 months old, from for the incubation period and whatnot. So he had plenty of time to find out that this girl wasn't wrapped too tight. He had plenty of time to do that. And he doing dirty macking. Like I said, I had a sliver of compassion and empathy for her until I heard that. It's like, girl, you might have, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's very sad that she's gonna lose her life over she's gonna lose her life and somebody else lost their life over his dirty macking.
Well, I reject that conclusion. It's not over it's not over his dirty macking. He was wrong. If he did what he's accused of doing, he was wrong. But that's no excuse for her reaction to his wrong.
I didn't say that. I never once said that. I just had a little bit of empathy for her.
I didn't say you did. Yeah. I'm just saying that you said that all of this happened, and basically you said it was all his fault.
Yeah, it is. I'm staying with that. It's his fault.
I don't know that I.
He's an asshole. He's an asshole.
I agree.
He's an asshole.
Partially. If I were assigning percentages, maybe 15% goes to him.
No, I'd go 70% because he's the external factor in it all that caused that girl.
70 is way
internal
too much.
And external.
He didn't make those decisions that she made. She made those decisions.
She's prone to make bad decisions.
That's not his fault.
Having two kids out of wedlock, attacking people with hammers. She's been known to make bad decisions.
But that's not his fault that she's known to make bad decisions.
It is his fault because he wanted a bad decision.
That's not his fault, Fame.
He's supposed to know. You're supposed to know who you land down with by the time you're 24. When you're 19, just running and gunning, that's one thing. But at 24, you kind of know who you're dealing with. He knew that girl wasn't right. He knew that girl had screws loose. He knew it. And out there doing that, with her sister, like what an asshole.
Okay, he was an asshole. I'll give you that. But 70% is way too much fault on his
70% of him can't control his emotions, can't control his sex. Yes, this is his fault. This is his fault.
We don't.
If you're gonna be with that girl, you protect her. You knew she wasn't wrapped tight. You been knew that.
That's not his fault that she's not wrapped tight.
She probably put a knife to him at some point. He's got kids with her.
That's still not his fault that she's not wrapped tight. She made those decisions. She is, you got, at the very least, she got to be 51% responsible because she was making the decisions to rev the car up, to run somebody down, to get out, punch him.
No, I see somebody with mental lapses who probably, grew up on a bunch of Similac and psychotropic drugs in school, and her mind just ain't there. Dude, Ben knew this. That this chick ain't. He got kids. He got a baby with her. He knew she ain't wrapped tight. He did this. I don't care. He might not be legally responsible for it, but morally, he's responsible for this.
He is partially responsible.
And that's all I got, B. It's been a pleasure, Emanuel. It always is. We'll chat again sometime next week. You be well, brother.
All right. Okay. I can't take dudes cuckooing. You know what I'm saying? You just, who cuckoos on the way out of a phone call? But 70% is way too much. If I had to assess, like I said, some responsibility to him, because there is some. There is some. He is partially responsible. I don't even know that you can argue that he's not. Maybe, but for his decision to do whatever it is that he did, he was the catalyst. So he takes some responsibility. And if I'm assigning percentages, I'm at around, realistically, I'm probably at around 10%. I'm at around 10%. But I don't know. It's all horrible. It's all horrible. And he didn't necessarily have to. Now I see some of the brothers on here saying, he knew she was crazy and he knew she wasn't wrapped too tight and all of that kind of stuff. I see some of the brothers on here saying that. That's probably true. That is probably true. I had to pause because there was a part of me that wanted to make the argument that you don't really know. But then I had to think about it. This was my thought process. It all happened like this quick. You don't really know. People can hide whether or not they crazy, but at the same time, they really can't. You can tell by their reactions to small things. Like I was telling y'all the other day, you could see crazy in the eyes. You can see crazy in the person's eyes sometimes. You really should get to know a person before you D them down. All of that good stuff, especially if you're talking relationship. Like you might not need to get to know somebody as in depth if you just gonna D them down once. You shouldn't be doing that, by the way. You shouldn't do that. I'm not encouraging that. But I know, it's 2022. People do that. So I'm not encouraging that. But, if you just D'ing them down once, you don't really need to know their history and all that kind of stuff. You just D'ing them down. Protect yourself. But if you having babies with people and being in long-term relationships with people and you D'ing them down, you should get to know that person. So you should know, damn, she crazy. Like, if I mess up with this one, she gonna flip out. You should know that. So, hold on a second, caller. So I was gonna say she didn't know, but that sound like the women who be like, I didn't know he was like that until we got married, and then on the honeymoon he flipped the switch. You should have knew. I've always said there's no reason for you to not know. Nobody is that good at hiding who they are. You saw glimpses of it and you chose to ignore it for whatever reason. So I that's why I had to back off and say, nah, And I've dealt with a crazy person or two. And I wouldn't say I necessarily knew from day one. One of them I did. I knew from day one. Like, this be crazy. But she fine. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of them. And then it was like, okay, this be crazy, but she know how to put it down. So, I'm going to deal with crazy for a little bit until I get tired of it. So, some of these are decisions that we make. Let me go to the phone. Caller.
Hey, Emanuel, my name's Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, most guys do know when they're crazy. I got a partner. Well, I had a partner, and his girlfriend was crazy. I think it was the cat meow, and because he kept staying with her, and I told his ass to leave her alone. But eventually he did so. But I think most guys know, and most people know when they dealing with people, if they're crazy or not. Because I think he was in the relationship for about 3 years.
Okay. So, it all depends on the level of crazy, and the area of crazy in relationship, because there's a ratio in relationship to how good the pee is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the pee is this good, I'll deal with this much crazy. But there has to be, it can't be 50-50. Like the P is I, but this B is crazy. Like, no, that ain't gonna work. Get out. But if the like, oh my God, how did she took a seminar to learn how to do this stuff, and she crazy. You can ratio wise.
And she was pretty too. Oh, girlfriend was fine too. I can understand why he kind of hung in there, but after a while, them two started banging with one another. I mean, it was damn near going blow for blow. So, and then I had another partner in college. We were going home. We were headed up to Wright State, and he had picked me up in his car. He said he just asked me to hang out downstairs in the car. So I did that, and all of a sudden he ran from upstairs, and he was moving too. And I was like, why my boy moving so fast? His girlfriend was coming at him with a gun.
Oh.
And he hopped into the driver's side, and I'm sitting in the passenger side, and she's pointing through me to him. And he got out the car, and he went over, and I don't know how he got that gun away from her, and he body slammed her, and I swear she bounced about 6 inches. And then we drove off, and then he had to go over to his aunt's house, and that's when he broke down. So I've seen crazy.
Sean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I partially blame you for that.
Okay, help me.
I'll be honest. I don't have I can't think of a friend that I have that I believe gets into physical fights with.
Now, these two separate people.
Don't matter.
Okay.
I don't have a friend that I believe gets into physical fights with women, no matter how crazy they are. And if you knew your friend and his female friend got into physical altercations, you are partially responsible, at least in my book. You are partially responsible for stepping in, putting a stop to it in one way, shape, or form.
I tried.
Then,
now, the second
and then if you're not successful, you are responsible for walking away. Because I believe that as men, and this is my honest belief, as men, we have to be accountable to one another. And so, Sean, if you and your girl, you and your wife are getting into physical fights, I'm going to tell you, Sean, I can't be friends with a dude that put his hands on a woman. And you're like, but she hitting me too. And I'm like, then you need to move away from that situation. But if I believe, feel, or know that you put your hands on her again, we can't be friends.
I understand that all this happened early in life. So we understand now, and he don't do stuff like that. But this was like I said, these were college years. These are all that early 20s, late teens. So I understand where you're coming from with that, and I appreciate that, but I didn't do it. And like I said, this stuff just came up all, and every time I talked to him, I used to tell him this, man, you need to leave that alone. It was, we had conversation, and eventually he left her alone.
Okay.
They stopped, and then my other boy, he just left out. He got his degree, moved on, but yeah, when she pulled that gun out, and I hate to say it, but it was a pretty ass gun. It was a pearl handle revolver too. It was pretty, and all I could do was just freeze it. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. So I seen crazy. Thank God I haven't been part of it as far as me having to do anything like that, because I've always told my son, and I believe that if you can ball your fist up, that's when it's time to leave. Because if you ball your fist up, it don't take nothing but a split second to hit her. Then it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
All right, Sean.
You take care and be blessed, man. And I enjoy your show. And thanks to you, you got me hit to Wyatt Live, and I listen to him like every day now.
All right.
And I'm always looking for you, even when you ain't on, because you have to work with little baby.
Hey, Sean, I appreciate your support, man.
You take care and be blessed, brother.
All right, you do the same. All right, that's Sean. Hey, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you supporting Wyatt. Check him out. 5 o'clock. I'm not sure if he's gonna be on today. It's a Friday. I know he do the family thing on Fridays, go to the game or whatever with his daughter. So he may or may not be on, but look for him. Just appreciate the people supporting. I'm looking. It is 2:17, 2:18. I have to, hold on, let me get Sean's name off of here. I have to do this real quick. I'm teaching people how to watch the news. And here's why I'm doing this. I was checking out the Lincoln Ware Show, which is a talk show that happens here in Cincinnati. He has one of the best shows in the country. And if you get a chance to check it out. It's a good show. It's funny. And interesting stuff happens. But I'm checking out this show, and people are talking about Donald Trump and his issues with all these classified documents. And some guy, I'm not going to say he's not bright, but some guy says, well, MSNBC reported that he not going to go to jail because if he go to jail, then the Secret Service will have to go to jail with him, and that'll cost too much money. So MSNBC reported that he is not going to jail. And I was asking, like, hold on. First, I guarantee you, MSNBC did not report as a fact that Donald Trump is not going to jail. Guaranteed, they did not report that. And I guarantee that MSNBC did not report as a fact that if Donald Trump goes to jail, Secret Service men have to go to jail. Guaranteed that didn't happen. Well, I know what they report. I know what I heard on MSNBC. Here, just a quick lesson. One of the things that they do on the cable news networks, they mix actual reported facts with opinion and with analysis. So they may come on and report, and you'll see a report where they're saying, according to the Washington Post, blah, 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 or according to this, blah, blah, blah. They're stating to some degree, and unless what they're quoting from the Washington Post is like from an opinion article. But what they're telling you is, okay, the FBI raided Donald Trump's house. They're going to lay out the facts, typically. They're going to lay out facts first. But what I really want y'all to get is that there's a difference between fact and opinion, even on the news channel, right? So a lot of times what they do is they lay out the facts as they know them at that moment. According to the Department of Justice, the FBI raided Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate and found this many classified documents. According to this particular law signed by, I think Barack Obama signed something. He's not supposed to have these documents. These were whatever. They report that these are classified, whatever. They're going to lay out the facts. Then they're going to bring somebody in. And then somebody in is going to say, the guest, they're going to say, look, Donald Trump is not going to jail. It would be too expensive for Donald Trump to go to jail because how are they going to protect a former president in jail? And somebody else is going to say, yeah, I agree with you, James. Donald Trump is not going to jail. It would just be too expensive to protect a former president in jail. And then they're going to say, well, Bill Barr said, and they're going to play you a clip of Bill Barr on Fox News saying they should not indict Donald Trump, even though they would indict anybody else for doing it. And then somebody else, guest number 4, is going to say, yeah, no, he's not going to jail. You can't then come and say, well, you can, but you shouldn't then come and say, MSNBC reported that Donald Trump is not going to jail. That's not what MSNBC reported. That's what some guests speculated. But that's the difference between reporting something as a fact and guests speculating or giving their analysis. One is they're trying to give you facts. And then 2 is they're trying to get all of these other people to come in and give you analysis, different ways that people who have some level of expertise or experience in these fields are going to look at it. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But you don't look at it and say, well, MSNBC reported last night that Donald Trump is not going to jail because it'd be too expensive. No, that was one of their panelists' opinions, either based on their, work in that field or whatever. All right. So it's difficult because I think they do, and even locally, they do a disservice with the news. I hate watching news now. When I was coming up, I'm 51, almost 52 now. I can say when I was coming up. When I was coming up, newscasters gave you the facts. They said there was a 3-alarm fire on Hearn. 2 people were taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. The damage is estimated to be $60,000. Fire department is still on the scene. Back to you, Al. That was it. Now it's, we have a tragic situation to report. So you already told me it's tragic. You made the decision for me that this was tragic. There's a 2-alarm fire on Hearn. And, whatever, all of the facts. And then you got some people on the street giving these wild tales about it. And then when they come back, the reporters are, that's a shame. I hope they find whoever did it. And it's like, you're not reporting now. I don't need you to tell me it's a shame. Let me decide whether or not I think it's a shame. Let me decide whether or not I think it's tragic. Let me decide whether or not I think it's sad. I don't want to hear all of that with my news. I might agree with you. I might think it's tragic. It's sad. It's horrible. I hope they recover. All of that stuff. But one is the news and the other is somebody's opinion. I don't like them mixing it. Give me my mixed news and opinions in a talk show format. That way I know. Look, the king of talk said this. I'm about to cuss. So if you at work, turn it down a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm about to cuss. It's a small cuss word that I'm allowed to say even over the air. But y'all know me. I don't really cuss. So. All right. The king of talk said this. But y'all know he just be talking that shit. He don't really know. That's just his opinion. That was the cuss word, the S word. See, then that way you know, well, Emanuel reported. Who? Emanuel, the king of talk reported that. He doing a talk show, right? Yeah, but he reported it. And he do a talk show. He giving you his opinion. But if you hear it on the news, some people just accept everything that they hear on the news as the news. It's not always the news. All right? All right. I just wanted to put that out there because some people are confused. Some people are confused. And, I don't want people confused about what is and what is not news because the lines are all blurred now. I liked Fox News' tagline years ago. We report, you decide. They never actually did that. They never actually did that. Like, I think they're the worst at it. Well, they were in terms of mainstream. They're the worst at it. But I like that as a tagline. Just give me the facts. Give me the facts. 2-alarm fire, Hearn, 2 people, smoke inhalation. Now back to Al. And I'll know whether I feel bad, whether I'm, it's tragic, if I'm praying for their recovery. I'll know all of that. In all honesty, On very rare occasions should I know what the news anchor is feeling. On very rare occasions should I know that, in my opinion. I want to know what you feel. Tell me the facts. All right. Yeah, I got to get ready to get out of here. Let's see. Janice says Fox News speaks with forked tongue. Victoria says these days most people confuse opinions as facts. Yeah. The Fox MSNBC reported in a pseudo argument. They reported that he ain't going to jail. How could they possibly report that? As fact. And to get this person to understand that they can't know that as fact right now. It's impossible for them to know that as fact. There's not even been a decision on whether or not he's going to be indicted, charged, anything. They can't possibly know the outcome before it even really began. No, they reported it. They know this stuff. Like, dumbass, they didn't. Somebody gave their opinion. What's wrong with you? A judge said Tucker Carlson was so unbelievable that no rational person would believe he was telling the truth. I don't know that I got a few minutes. Brent. So if people have any questions, it is Friday. So if you got questions, I got time to take them. I got about 10 minutes I can carve out. 10 minutes for questions. Even though nobody has questions. Realistically, I don't know why I do this. I do it because somebody said I should do it. That's why I do it. Because somebody said I should. But nobody has questions. Because I answer questions throughout the entire show. But if you take nothing else away from this show, but if you have questions, you can send them in. If you take nothing else away from this show, stop encouraging bad behavior. You might not be able to stop it, bad behavior, but you can stop encouraging it. All right? And think about it, even when you're angry. That's especially when you should be thinking about. You should always, but especially when you're angry, you should be thinking about your actions. Think about the worst thing that could happen if you do this. And are you willing to accept those consequences? All right. Couple quick questions. Are you watching She-Hulk? Yes. I don't like it. It's not a good show if you ask me. Or at least it's not what I want in my Marvel show. But Marvel kind of has turned into a comedy franchise anyway. So, but no, I'm watching it, but I don't like it. I'm thinking maybe something will happen that relates to the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I don't want to miss it. Or even the subtle references to it because I missed out on the series. Marvel got me. They got me. So I'm watching it, but I'm not liking it. Should men cheat? That's kind of a loaded question. I'll say this. People should be honest with people. But I'm really, if it is my decision to do with my body what I choose to do with my body. Right? Don't we all agree on that? I know we're not off base on that. We all agree I get to decide what to do with my body. And then if you don't like the decisions that I'm making with my body, then you get to decide whether or not you stay or go. But at the same time, I'm not required to tell you what I do with my body. But should people cheat? No, people shouldn't cheat. But at the same time, I'm not required to tell you what I'm doing. But I would prefer people be honorable. And I think when you talk about honor, if I don't want to be with you, if I want to sleep with other people, if I wanted to have sex with somebody else, you know what I would do? This is me being an honorable person. I would say to Mrs. Livingston in a text, from far away. I think I want to have sex with somebody else. I'm gonna have sex with somebody else. I'm letting you know so you can decide how you want to respond moving forward. If we gonna stay together, if we not gonna stay together, whatever. But I'm gonna let you know up front before I do it what I want to or what I'm gonna do. And I would give her I would give her the ability to make that choice for her. That's being honorable, in my opinion. Now, again, I wouldn't say that right in front of her face because she got a little bit of crazy in her. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. It's the right amount. It's the right amount. There ain't no right amount. There is a right amount of crazy. There's a right amount. When I need it, I know it's there to tap into. She has had to tell somebody, you are not going to talk to him like that. Because she knew it was a woman and I couldn't do nothing about it. And so she has had to step in and say, no, we're not going to be disrespectful or things is about to get out of hand. And I was like, that's the amount of crazy I need. I said, that ain't crazy, Emanuel. Trust me, if them buttons had been pushed, the crazy would have come out in the appropriate proportion. So you need a little bit of crazy. I'm not answering that question, Brent. What do I think about the radio host in New York that was accused? I'm not familiar with the story. I'll have to go read about it. How many billions has been sent to Mississippi versus Ukraine? A lot. I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly how much. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. Are you watching House of the Dragon? No, I had my fill. Again, I watch Game of Thrones. I'm not into the hype shows. So Game of Thrones was okay. But I've had my fill of that stuff. I'm good. Should folks still make love to R. Kelly music? People should do whatever they want to do as long as they ain't hurt nobody. So, sure. A text for our way. Oh, yeah. Because I thought she got a little bit. I'm convinced. And it's a healthy thing. I'm convinced if she find out I cheated, she gonna do something. She ain't gonna run me down in Kroger, but I'm not gonna like what she do. It's gonna be physically painful to me. So yeah, no, you would say to Mrs. Livingston, what do you think about Jeff Pastor's lifestyle? I probably would start it out. I'll be, try to work her up to it. Hey, we don't start watching this series. It's about swingers. And as we watching the series, what do you think about that? I know that's crazy. I would never want to do anything like that. That's crazy. I don't even know where them people get. But could you think you could handle it if we wanted to do that? Do you think you could handle it? No. I'm saying it's crazy. I would never want to do anything like that. Never. I'm telling you, never. It would never even enter my mind. But say hypothetically, you know what I'm saying? In a different alternate universe, if you were in that situation, would you be able to handle it? You know what I'm saying? You got to work her up to it. Oh, you would. Hypothetically, in a different universe, a different version of you would be, okay, how familiar, how similar are you to that person in that alternate universe? I'm just saying in terms of the things that you could deal with. Like, how would we? No, I'm not. We watching the show, baby. I'm just asking questions about the show. I'm not into that stuff at all. That's the way I would kind of work it. By the time the series was over, if I was into that, either we would be together or I would know it's time to move on. But I wouldn't just bring it out. Is getting a Deshaun Watson treatment cheating? Yes. Anytime you ejaculate and she is not involved and or aware, it's cheating. anytime. Who are the best cheaters? Got to be women, right? Absolutely. Women are the best cheaters. They cheat more than men, and they cheat better than men. J Rose says, so you don't read the YouTube comments. I just read it, J Rose. House of Dragon better than She-Hulk. Okay. Have you watched I'm Killer on Netflix? I have not. I haven't even heard of it. What if your wife wanted to bring in another man? She would never want to do that. And that would just be unacceptable. No ifs, ands, or buts. Yes, ejaculate. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Hey, today is Mrs. Livingston's birthday. I doubt that she would mind me telling y'all her age, but that ain't my role. But today is her birthday, and so wish her a happy birthday if you know her. If you don't, then don't worry about it. But hopefully we get out and enjoy ourselves this evening. I got to get out of here, go pick up that little baby. Until next time, it's been the afternoon experiment. Oh, and just so y'all know, probably next Friday, I won't be here. And the Friday after that, I won't be here. I'll remind y'all. But the way that we got things set up is beautiful. September is our month. Her birthday's September 9th. Today, Friday. Next Friday is our anniversary. And then the following Friday is my birthday. So we go birthday, anniversary, birthday. Birthday, anniversary, birthday. 1 week apart, all three of them. So I'm here today. I probably won't be here next week, next Friday. And, that's anniversary. And then I probably won't be here that following Friday. That's my birthday. All right. So just so y'all know, just making y'all aware. But all right, I got to get out of here. Got to go pick up that little baby. It's been the afternoon experiment. Thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all for y'all support. I hope something amazing happens in your life today. And I'm not just saying that to have something to say. I really think about it. Like, I hope something amazing happens in your life. Life changing. All right. Till next time. It's been the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm the king of talk. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.